Askreddit thread. Married man of Reddit. What were you honestly thinking when your wife was walking down the aisle towards you during your wedding? Don't pass out. If you don't want to pass out, then don't lock your knees. Wait, does this actually do something? I have a weird habit of getting lightheaded and passing out when standing for a long time. What? Ask anyone in the military who has to stand at attention for long periods of time. Don't lock your knees. I have seen many kids in my Army cadets pass out because of this, including my own. Wait, do you know why it can happen? I passed out once while making some soup. I wasn't standing for very long, for like 10 minutes. The doctor said this can happen when people lock their knees, but I don't understand it. He didn't explain it further. Huh. Good, she came. Twice. And once with the groom. Why is everyone turned around to look at me? Of course I'm going to smile and be happy. Look at her. She spent all day to look like that, so look at her. I got out of the shower an hour ago. I too got out of the shower an hour ago. Who am I marrying? The question will be answered this Sunday night. For the second time a week, you need to put more effort into your toots. It's John Cena. I just married in July. 72 hours before our wedding, my fiance and I went to the doctor for first ultrasound of our 12-week-old baby. There was no heartbeat. She was in surgery the next day for a D&E procedure. On the morning of our wedding, she spent 3 hours in the ER dealing with post-surgery complications, but she rallied and we got married as scheduled. As she walked down the aisle, none of our guests knew about her ordeal except for our family and best friends. We all teared up, knowing what she was going through. We got married on the beach in Cape Cod, so it was a long walk across the sand. As she approached, all I could think about was how fucking much I love her. What a strong, beautiful, and amazing woman. All the nerves that had gathered that morning dissipated when I saw her. I was like, aw, here comes my best friend, and she looks happy to be marrying me. How did I get so lucky? 20 plus years, we're still married. I was thinking about what a jerk her dad is. We got married in a friend's backyard and the heels on her shoes kept getting stuck in the grass. She took about 3 steps before kicking off the shoes and going barefoot. Most of the guests smiled at her. Her dad rolled her eyes. He can never not be an ass. My God, she's beautiful. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Fuck. I'm crying. Oh well, maybe I can get out now before I say my vows. She's here. Let's do this. Shit. Okay, say the vows and don't fuck up. I ended up having to stop in the middle of my vows because I couldn't stop crying. It sounded like a muppet. Everyone thought I was going to puke. Kermit, do you accept Miss Piggy as your everlasting wife? Yes. It's all good, dude. I cried through my vows too. I'm not sure anyone actually understood what I was saying. We wrote our own and I ended up reading it to my husband later so he knew what I was trying to say. 7 years in December. I start crying. 30 years for me. I could still see her standing there, absolutely burned in my brain, along with the birth of our children. She was and is so beautiful. I felt and feel so lucky. It was like the whole world was gray and she would walk towards me. The world became color in her path. I can't even imagine the kind of man I would be without her. Edit, well, thanks, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking, so this is it. I finally decided it. This beautiful woman is mine. Wait, fuck, she's falling. Try not to laugh. Don't smile. Shit, I'm laughing. She fell. She kind of stumbled and lost balance, but didn't fully fall. Her old man, the sly bastard he is, turned into kind of a dance move while they were walking. I still love that man as much as I love my wife. You married 2 people that day. The deal was sealed long before. If only I gave him a ring too. I kept saying to myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Right before my wife started walking down the aisle. As soon as I saw her, I had to look at my groomsmen to avoid being an emotional mess. Which made it worse because I made eye contact with my brother, who has been my best friend my entire life. My eyes watered up. Went back to looking at my wife, but I couldn't see how good she looked because of my tears. Thank God for pictures. When I was saying my vows, I looked over to the groomsmen to remain calm, and my best man was crying. Well, that's just not fair. This is all funny stuff. I've never once cared about having a wedding, nor do I want to get married. But it was funny reading about how all these people were crying during it. I can say this without a doubt, because it just happened about 6 hours ago. I had seen her before the wedding. Her hair was done in a way that I'd never seen. She had more makeup on than I would ever fathom her wearing, and it wasn't much. She has a beautiful natural complexion. But when I Wait, but when I stood there and eager to see her in that dress, and finally saw her, she looked absolutely beautiful. She looked perfect, completely flawless, and walked down the aisle with the most amazing stride. All I could think is, I couldn't imagine her any more gorgeous. Just jaw-dropping, sexy, and beautiful. And that is my wife. I get to marry her. I get to spend the rest of my days with her. And when we finally turned to face the minister, I just wanted to look at her, to devour every bit of her with my eyes. I couldn't take my sight off of her for the rest of the evening. People would talk to me, I'd address them, but I couldn't stop remembering that moment when her dad came through the door with her. It was a moment I'll cherish and never forget. Get off Reddit. Oh my god. Look at that beautiful idiot. What a fool she is showing up here. She has no idea how big of a mistake this is. Wait, she wants to marry me? What kind of sociopath would willingly spend time with me? Oh shit, oh shit. Are my knees lock? Dude, be careful, your D's are lock. Get the fuck out of the way, people. I can't see her, I'm short. Pretty. My wife was generally not very elegant. On our wedding day, she pulled it off flawlessly. My mom gave me a big sobbing hug before the wedding party started walking down, so I was sobbing mess by the time the music went for my wife hit. My mom was racing between, I hope she doesn't trip, and why isn't she crying as much as me? I'm guessing the makeup. The classic, I don't want to cry, but I can't feel my eyes open anymore. I was thinking how gorgeous she looked, and that I hoped I wouldn't screw anything up. However, it was pretty warm and I tend to sweat a lot. When I went to put the ring on her finger, I hit the fingernail, and due to my dewy hands, I dropped the ring on the marble floor, to which I exclaimed, "Oh shit." The minister and the priest were none too happy with me. She and I just laughed, but her mom got extra angry with me, and so started our 14-year war. Not 1 week later, her mom took her for a walk and provided her with domestic abuse pamphlets because she thought I was abusing her. I could go on and on, but I won't bore you. P.S. My mother-in-law brought the pamphlets back 2 Christmas ago, and I had the abuse discussion again, but this time our kids were present. That lady is a gem, folks. Her mother suspected abuse because he accidentally dropped the ring and said, "Oh shit," at your own wedding. That's fucking crazy. I'm guessing OP exhibited some other behavior that most people would be normal, but to women already suspicious or irritated at you because you messed up the wedding, a little would add up as evidence that he's an abuser. Sounds like just a weird older lady. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. We separated in June and are in the initial steps of divorce. I knew someone who called it off 3 weeks before the wedding. He's now happily married to someone else. I was slightly different. Is this a mistake? I hope not. Better smile so no one else sees how worried I am. Wasn't a mistake. Been married 6 years now, and we have an awesome kid, and we still get along. She gets more beautiful every year. I was trying really damn hard not to cry because she looks so beautiful in that dress. I can't believe how people cry. Damn it, my legs are starting to ache. Are you meant to stand with or without your knees locked? If my knees, I'll fall over, right? Just don't lean. Focus on your center of gravity. I mean, I saw that episode of Frasier where he teaches Freddy to bend his knees slightly during the spelling bee. But that won't look natural, will it? Shit. Cool. People are watching. Holy fuck, I'm sweating. I bet they can tell. Her whole family's just staring, judging, thinking about how this sweaty, swaying fuck isn't good enough for their daughter. Why is she walking so slow? Jesus, I should have worn a condom. Oh my fuck, Becky. Where the fuck has she been? I've been standing up here for an hour and a half in front of everyone, and the justice of peace is trying to leave because he has another wedding this afternoon. This is so inconsiderate. Who am I marrying? I said, bitch. You really said bitch, though? Oh, yeah. I looked my woman in the eye sockets. Did she have a reason? Her mom and sister kept fussing over her. My wife isn't girly and finally got fed up with it and left, or she would have been even later. Honestly, it let waves of happiness wash over me, and I put my mind on pause. I made it a point to look around, at her, at my bridesmaids at the Ark, at my bros maids, at everything. I wanted to remember the moment, most importantly, how I felt at that moment. So much stress led up to it. With planning, saving, picking out tuxes and details, that I was just happy we'd reached the end of the craziness. We could finally just enjoy each other. What will probably be the only time all of our friends and family are with us at the same time. Whew. That's right, I'm a minister. I get to perform a crap load of weddings, and I freaking love it. During a ceremony, most people are so nervous and thinking about what's happening later that they miss what's happening right now. Often, the whole ceremony part becomes lost to time to them. Last thing I got to say to a groom before we walk in is to stop drinking it all and fully present in the next few moments. I impressed on him that if all goes well, he will only ever have one shot at the greatness that's about to happen. And then a few minutes later, while everybody else gets their first look at the bride, I'm watching the groom, and I have never been disappointed. My wife and I walked down the aisle together, which was awesome. I can't recall what I was thinking, though. We had a bit of an odd wedding as we got married. Just the two of us in a small church in a fjord, Norway. Two of us, plus pastor guy, plus an organist / witness, and an elderly lady from town who came by to witness as well. They have to ring the bells for about 4 minutes before we open the doors and walk down the aisle. That's a lot of bells ringing. My wife and I did a first look, which really did a lot to calm my anxiety. We literally hung out until about 5 minutes for the ceremony. Her father died when she was a kid, so she started down the aisle by herself. Then about halfway to the altar, I went and got her. All of my jitters and stage fright and anxiety faded, and I thought simply, wow. And now, bliss. 2 things. I'm happy to be alive. That woman is gorgeous. My God, she's beautiful. She's gonna fuck me senseless later. If I stand right, I think I can crop dust the groomsmen without making a sound. Did I zip my pants? Nope. Well, I can fix that. Nobody's looking at me. Then proceed to zip my pants. I was thinking, how the hell did a lady this beautiful agree to marry me? I have been married multiple times. My last wife was pushed down the aisle in a wheelchair. I was thinking, I wish this day could last forever. She passed away 17 days ago. Edit. Wow, I've been on Reddit for almost 3.5 years, and this one comment has garnered about a quarter of my karma. What follows is a summary, roughly the length of War and Peace, to answer the questions that have been posed a number of times. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for wishes and condolences. It's appreciated. I'm 55 years old, and when I said I've been married multiple times, I meant thrice. I was too immature for my first marriage in my early 20s. My wife was worse. She had 2 kids from a previous marriage, and we were married by a justice of the peace with 2 witnesses. On our first anniversary, we had a proper wedding. A year later, we had a son, and a year after that, we had twin boys, born 3 months premature. One of the twins passed away 3 weeks before his first birthday, never having left the hospital. We stayed together for another year, about 5 years altogether, separated, enjoyed the separation so much that we got back together just so we could split up again. All total, we were together for about 7 or 8 years. My second marriage was when I was in my mid to late 30s. I loved her when we married, I loved her when we were separated, and I can safely say that I wish we were still together. Unfortunately, we had one major, irreconcilable difference. Sorry, I won't elaborate. And we divorced after 6 years. I met the woman who became my third wife about 10 years ago. We moved in together 8 years ago. Got engaged shortly afterwards, but never set a date. In January 2009, she was diagnosed with cancer and given 6 months to live. 11 months later, right after Christmas, she was admitted to a hospital for the last time. When she was transferred from an acute care wing to a palliative care and hospital, I applied for and was given compassionate leave from work. I spent pretty much the entire last month of her life with her. The staff of the hospital moved a rollaway bed in her room, and I slept there for all but one night, from the end of December through January until she passed away. While there, we discussed it and decided to get married in the hospital's chapel. Since we were both big-time Oilers hockey fans, we decided to have a hockey-themed wedding. A group of our friends organized pretty much everything, and all I did was get rings and do a bit of paperwork. She and I, the wedding party, my oldest son and her daughter, and most of the guests wore jerseys instead of suits and gowns. Our wedding cake was in the shape of and frosted looked like a hockey rink with an oversized puck on it. The puck was adorned with the Oilers logo. The wedding took place on January 10th, 2010. She was unable to walk, so she was pushed down the aisle in a wheelchair. We had a receptionist and a guest/visionary of the palliative care ward. On January 25th, she went to sleep and never woke up. I never awoke. On the morning of January 27th, I woke up at 8 and got cleaned up and made my bed. I was still sitting on the cot, holding her hand at 8:55 when she took her last breath. I didn't marry her in order to get her money estate. I married her because it was what we wanted to do. She had a daughter from a previous marriage, and she wanted to make sure that her daughter was taken care of. She had worked for the government for over 29 years and was due a significant pension. That was paid out in a lump sum to her daughter. In addition to that, she had a couple of insurance policies. One named her daughter as sole beneficiary, the other named her ex-husband. We didn't locate that one until after she passed. She made her intentions clear in her will, and her ex complied with those wishes, signing over the insurance policy, and her daughter got that as well. Since her daughter wasn't an adult yet, she turned 18 in early March 2010, my brother-in-law, a cop, was named her guardian. He took the money from the 2 insurance policies and the pension payout. I'm not certain, but I think the total was a fourth and a $500,000. Damn, that's a lot. And put them into trust fund until her daughter turned 21. She got her allowance from the trust fund and was the only person who could withdraw money, and only if it was for the daughter. As far as the rest of her estate went, I kept whatever her daughter didn't want, and some of that was sold to cover debts that my wife had accumulated. I am now receiving a spousal supervisor old age security pension of about $375 a month after taxes, what I would have received whether or not we married. The federal government recognizes that we had a common law marriage, and that made me eligible. What? A few people, jokingly I hope, said that I'd probably at fault for passing on my wives. This isn't the case. Both of my previous wives are still alive and well, though I might argue that the mental state of my first wife is anything but well. After 2 years after my wife passed away, I started dating a woman I've known for about 30 years. We were in the Air Force together. We each married, and she was divorced about a year before we started seeing each other. We moved in shortly after we started dating and have been together ever since. Ironically, in reference to the comments about it being my fault, about a year and a half ago, my current partner was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Even though she's a retired nurse, I'm the one who knows more about cancer and MS than anyone should ever need to or want to know. Whew, that was a long one. I think I'm just going to end it here. I'm pretty sure most of these are going to be kind of the same, but I just kind of wanted to read the ones about people crying because I thought that was funny.